I remember carrying you before, all right, and you videotaped the whole way over to Bassie and Keane.
Did you ask me a certain question about a certain...
Your president. Exactly.
Not my president. How about you?
Oh, Lord, that's gas.
Oh, you're the same guy?
Yeah.
Let's finish this story. I want more education. I'll tell you why. So, what do you think has happened since the last time we made this?
Well, the last time we were on, but I think it's gone to the stage now. Himself and the North Korean guy are just basically trading insults.
Sure.
One of them is calling each other a madman. The other fellow is calling another fellow delusional.
So if you were to give it an anecdote, would you say it's like the pot calling the kettle black?
Exactly. And it's time for the two of them to cop on and get over it, because you can't let Trump access to a button that could be
Well said from a European standpoint.
Unbelievable. Yeah. But he made that speech in the UN during the week, and he on about he was going to desolate the country, he was going to wipe them out and everything. But just, you can't isolate one little spot and drop a nuke on it. It doesn't happen that way. It'd probably end up poisoning half the world with radiation. Unbelievable.
It's just, and remember our conversation, it is an embarrassing time for one of the greater countries in the world, don't you think?
One of the most powerful countries in the world to have the likes of that Ramadan. Ramadan is an Irish word for an Egypt. And
I love it.
Ramadan running the country for you.
Oh, golly. It is quite scary.
It is, actually, So, what do you do?
Punt.
Yeah.
Gotta punt.
Yeah, you just gotta keep rowing at the moment and let it run its course. But I think a bit quicker they cop themselves on, the two of them.
So how long you didn't estimate he's going to make the first term? Do you still feel that way?
I
mean, he's not even a year into it.
No,
and there's a bunch of people jumping ship, don't you see?
Yeah, there are, and all his advisors, and they seem to be coming in, going out, and all these advisors and everything. I don't know. So, and then when you hear some of the names, like what you man, Scaramacci, it sounds like a James Bond movie,
The Mooch or the Smooch or whatever his name was.
Yeah.
Well, you got to tie that into and he's got his whole Soviet thing. What do you make of the Soviet debacle?
It's hard to know there, because Facebook have come out now during the week and says they're going to hand over all their tapes, and they're doing huge business with the Soviets and everything like that. So
who's doing huge business with the Soviets?
Facebook. So
Facebook.
for advertisement.
Oh,
yeah, and they reckon that it could have been influenced, say, by the Soviets thing with their advertisement on Facebook. So Facebook are handing over all their tapes and everything like that.
To who?
To the Americans, to the CIA.
Oh, good.
To investigators. So they reckon that it could have been influenced.
And Facebook had what to do with it? This is the first time I've heard anything about Facebook and the Russians and the president.
Yeah, it's on the news the last couple of nights. And the top guy in Facebook, Baruka, or whatever his name is.
Here's where we started the last lesson, by the way.
Yeah.
I've got you down as my U.S. history lesson from abroad. A perspective from another country.
But no, Facebook have come out now in the last couple of days and basically says, okay, huge, advertisement with the Russians, and it could have been influenced. So they're just basically handing over all their tapes.
Well, good for them. I mean, that's what it's going to take. Do you think that... so, how did the Trump... basically the Trump problem in America come to fruition via the Russians? What do you think the tie-in there is? Do you think it's business? Do you think it's political? Do you think think the Trumps perhaps have a loan from the Russians?
It could be political, because where money is concerned, I'd say the Russians wouldn't be worried about things like that. It's all to do with politics.
Would you think that perhaps there's a debt to the Russians that we don't know about?
Quite possible, because when you look at the amount of property that Russia and Asia and own in America, it's huge. So when you see these guys on the runabout, it's billions and billions of property that they own in America. Really is unbelievable.
So do you think they would get some of that property by lending money to, say, entrepreneur realtors?
Don't you know, in every game and the American dollar, somewhere along the line, there's bucks being passed under the table. and there could be suitcases full of dollars or everything like that, or Russian rubles or whatever handed over. So quite possible, God knows. But I wouldn't say that the Russians are worried about money. I'd say it's all politics with them boys. Power.
And so would you say that it's almost like President Putin, Vice President Donald Trump?
Oh, I know. Yeah, it's hard to know, isn't it?
Okay, let me try this now. Thank you again for another history lesson. What is your name?
That's from Ireland.